Hi, in this next episode, we're going to talk about the etc fstab file. This file comes in handy when booting the system. It lists all the mounts or all the file systems that should be automatically mounted by the system as your computer starts up. So this is processed when booting up the system. Now, in the previous episode, we had talked about the mount command, allowing you to mount a file system for access to a storage device or some network storage. Now, listing it in the etc fstab file is a way to make that mount persistent, because when the system boots, part of that boot up process is actually mounting all the file systems listed in this etc fstab file. So what you'll find in this file is the configuration for the file systems or network storage that you are going to mount on your computer. It has 6 different things that you need to define as part of that automatic mounting process. The first is the device itself. This could be a storage device or some network storage device that you are wanting to mount every time the system boots up or is made available for you to use. Then you will define the second thing, which is the mount point. This is, again, somewhere in your directory tree where you want that file system to be connected to, so you have access to that storage device. Third, you will list the file system type. So the system is aware of what type of file system is being mounted. Is it a common Linux file system? Is it a file system that is actually NFS or network-based? What type of file system are you actually looking to mount? The fourth thing that you'll need to add are mount options. Generally, you leave this as default. However, there are other mount options which you can choose to add here, such as no A time for not actually allowing any access time to be logged on this file system. There are no exec, meaning on this file system, you are not allowing any executable files. And there are other options that allow you to really meet certain compliance or have certain configurations on a file system that you are mounting. Those are the mount options, and those are the fourth thing. Number 5 is whether or not you are having any sort of dump support for this file system. What dump support simply means is that when the file system, or if the file system is going to crash, there is some sort of backup created allowing you to retrieve the contents of that file system. Finally, you have the pass option, which will automatically check the file system at boot or at the time of mounting, and you can choose that pass order based on the number you put here, whether that's 0 for disabled, a 1 to always check, and the number 2 for checking as well. In this upcoming lab, we're going to show how to actually list your storage device in the etc fstab file so you can always have your mount available for you even after you reboot your system. Please join us in this lab where we discuss about the etc fstab file. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the etc fstab file. This is a file that holds the configuration for all the automatic mounting that needs to happen on my server when my computer boots up. To show you, I want to actually talk about what we've done just in the previous episodes, which was create a partition SDB1, format it with XFS file system, and then mount it here at the new partition using the mount command. Now, I want you to observe a behavior. So I'm going to say reboot here and just reboot my system. And what I want to actually prove is that mount command is a runtime command. It is not a permanent configuration. When my computer reboots, that connection between the directory and the device that's made through the mount command simply unplugs that connection. So when I go ahead and reboot and sign back in, you will see that that partition that I created is actually no longer mounted. So let me actually show you here using ls-blk-f, and you can see I am no longer mounted because when my computer is starting, it is reading the etc fstab file. And if my mount details are not there, then it will not automatically look to mount this directory. So let's go ahead and create an entry inside etc fstab in order to mount this in a permanent way. I'm going to go into root and open the etc fstab file. Now you can see this is a file systems all found under dev, dev and the disk, and how we add our entry down at the bottom. I'm going to say Shift G and O to open a new line right at the bottom. The first thing we're going to define is the device itself, which is the name dev sdb1. And then we're going to define where it's being mounted. So it's being mounted at the directory new partition. And now we're going to define what type of file system it is. So we're going to say it's XFS. The fourth thing we're going to define are any mount options where you can choose the default settings for mounting, or you can change some of the options such as, disabling some of the attributes, enabling certain attributes in the mount options. So currently we're going to go with just the defaults for mount options. Now the fifth and sixth thing that you're going to put is a 0 or a 1. The first 0 or 1 will define whether or not you want a backup support. And to disable it, we're just going to put 0. And the second 0 or 1 will identify whether or not you want to automatically check the file system to, to repair any problems, or just ignore that checking of the file system when this system is being mounted. So I'm going to ignore it for now by typing 0. So again, repeating the 6 things that we need. We need the device, number 1. Number 2, we need the mount point. Number 3, we need the file system type. Number 4, we need mount options. Number 5, we need dump support, enable or disable. And the last thing is automatic system file check, enabled or disabled. So with that, I can actually save my file with escape:_WQ, saving and quitting. And now, if I simply reboot, you're going to see that automatically the file system will look to be mounted based on what we see in the configuration file. Here, we're logging back in. And to prove that everything has worked, I'm going to open up the terminal and zoom in just a little bit and type ls-blk-f, and you can see that after I reboot, it is automatically mounting based on the information provided in the etc fstab file. So please remember, when you're working with partitions, to create a persistent entry regarding the mounting of that partition. That's it for this episode. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.